Hi, my name is Amanda Butler, and tonight I will be presenting my second informative speech. First, I will pay my audience. It's Coriel, Katrina, Della, Jessica, and Henry. Hello, everyone. Tonight I will be talking to you all about euthanasia. I'll start off with a little joke. About a week or so ago, when I went into Barnes & Noble researching my topic, I went to the store, the sales associate, and asked him if he had any information on euthanasia. And he responded, "You mean the young people in Asia?" And I was like, "Oh, no." So I tried to say it a little different. I said euthanasia. So he said, "Oh," kind of clicked what I was talking about. But they still didn't have any information on it, but that's okay. But euthanasia is pretty much is the act of putting to death a person or an animal. And the way they do that is they just withhold, necessary treatment from the person. It's also called mercy killing. Um, I recently had to deal with this issue with my dog. We had to make the painful decision to put her to sleep. She was really sick, so we were going to have her, put down. But as soon as we got there, she died on her own. So I mean, that made us feel better. But um, that would have been a form of euthanization or mercy killing, as they say it. But there are three types of euthanasia which can be classified as voluntary and involuntary. You have voluntary or assisted suicide, involuntary and non-voluntary. With the voluntary, it's applying death by the patient's choice, and that's done by the doctor. The patients are usually terminally ill with that one. With involuntary, it's deciding when it's better for someone to be dead. Recovery is unlikely but possible, and the patients are usually brain dead with that one. With non-voluntary, the patient cannot give consent, in the ending of their life. That's usually with newborn patient, like if they're born premature. If the doctor doesn't think that they're going to live, they'll withhold treatment. They won't give the baby water, food, or anything like that because they decided that the baby's not going to live anyway. But today I'm going to inform you all about euthanasia. More specifically, we'll talk about the facts on social, religious, financial, and medical views. And then we'll talk about the legality and the administration of euthanasia. And then I'll briefly talk about some statistics. And I do have a visual or a handout that I'll give everyone so you can follow along with me when I'm talking about it. But with the social views, it's pretty much some people agree that euthanasia is morally acceptable if the person has a disease. Um, they also believe that active euthanasia is not acceptable because they consider it to be murder or suicide. Because the person is saying they want to die, and that's suicide. And then if the doctor gives them the anesthetics, um, then that's considered murder. Neither of which is legal. So that's why it's a very a big issue with everyone. And there's some that believe that no matter the circumstance, passive and active are equally unacceptable. Murder, suicide, like I said. Um, there was a survey conducted by the World Value Survey in 2007 about morality and justifiability in certain countries. So I'll give you all the handout on that. And it's basically just a little graph I did to show, which countries think it's acceptable and which think it's not. It's based on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being never justifiable and 10 being always justifiable. So I'll let you take one and pass it around. But what you'll basically see is that the Netherlands, Denmark, Japan, New Zealand, Switzerland, Australia, France, and Sweden agree that euthanasia is justifiable. They scored at least 6 points each. You can see that on your graph. Ireland, Mexico, Portugal, South Africa, and Hungary scored between 3 and 4 points, which pretty much means that they disapprove of euthanasia. The U.S., we scored 5, which pretty means that we can't decide. We're just 50-50 on the issue. Then we get into religious views. most religions are opposed to euthanasia. The Christians believe that, God created life. He should be the only one that can take it. Islam is the most opposed to euthanasia. Those who practice Hinduism believe in the afterlife. So they believe if you, the result of euthanasia is bad karma in the afterlife. Um, Financial views: doctors who practice resource conserving medicine are more likely to euthanize patients. Uh, to what they pretty much are saying that to take care of a person that's terminally will cost way more than just euthanizing them. An example could be caring for a person that's terminally ill could cost $40,000. Killing them could cost 40. So I mean, it's pretty obvious that most doctors, that are money conserving, will go with the euthanization, cost less. Medical views: 1 out of 4 doctors support euthanasia, according to a survey of 4,000 doctors conducted in the United Kingdom. 35% of doctors think that law should be changed because sometimes euthanasia is necessary. Like children that are disabled, people are suffering, they think it's necessary to put them out of their misery. Um, Now that we looked at each view, we're going to talk about the legality of euthanasia and how it's administered. Euthanasia is legal in the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. Um, Assisted suicide, which is one of the examples we looked at, that is legal in Switzerland and in only 3 states in the United States. It's Washington, Oregon, and Montana. Um, Euthanasia is administered by using anesthetics or morphine. A lot of times the doctor will give the medicine that will put them in a comatose state. Once they're in that state, they will then give that patient a high dose of morphine or something to stop the heart. So that's one way that they do that. Passive euthanasia, a way that they do that is by simply withholding important treatments, withholding something important that a person needs, like food or water. So, I mean, those are the different ways, that they administer it. So in conclusion, I mean, it's important to know that euthanasia is a widely controversial issue, even though a lot of people aren't familiar with it. It is widely controversial. And, we pretty much talked about the different types, the issues surrounding it, and, it's kind of important. I mean, you can make your own decision based on that. But one of the things that doctors, most physicians, that they really hold sacred today is still the Hippocratic Oath. And pretty much, what it says that they will neither give a deadly drug to anyone who asks for it, nor will they make a suggestion to this effect. But I hope the information presented will help you better understand euthanasia. And of course, there's a lot of great information out there. I encourage everyone to research it, to kind of formulate their own opinion on if they think, euthanasia is considered it's like a mercy killing, or if it's murder. But thank you all for listening, and you all have a great night.